Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today is April 27th, so it's only a couple days after I shot my last video. I'm in the same location. Another beautiful sunny blue sky, not a cloud in the sky right now. And what I'm doing, I've got a north wind today, so kind of the same setup as last time. The north wind is coming across the meadow. I've got a row of kind of trees and shrubs behind me here. Sun's to the south, so as I work along here, sun's at my back. It's well lit, so I got lots of light, and the birds are on this side of the field feeding on insects and whatnot, again kind of the same as last time. So lots of kinglets and whatnot moving through here, so I've just been working along this row here. In terms of my camera settings for photography, I'm shooting anywhere between ISO 400 and 800, and that's giving me between 1,000 and 1,600th of a shutter speed. Pretty much an even exposure. The odd times, if the birds are getting up a little bit higher, I'll bump my exposure up just a little bit, because against the blue sky, things are appearing a little dark, a little too silhouetted. So in those cases, I'll shoot 2/3 of a stop overexposed, but for the most part, it's an even exposure. And like I say, I'm working between 400 and 800 ISO, and that's working out good for me. Carolina wren. Fortunately, with brown creepers, their behavior is very predictable. They'll go from the bottom of one tree up to the top of the next, and then fly to the next tree and repeat. So if you're trying to get a photo of one, just be patient and kind of watch which direction it's going and focus in on the next tree, because it'll move down and repeat the whole process over and over again. So I've managed to find a couple of new species, first of year species for me. Unfortunately, they saw me and flew before I could get a photo or a video of them, but as I worked my way in here, as I went by the pond, I found a green heron, and then along the river was a spotted sandpiper. So things have moved in, a couple new species so far since the last time I was in here, so things are moving along, migration's progressing. So this is a female red-winged blackbird. They're not as distinct as the males, obviously, with no black plumage and red wing, but they're still kind of a neat looking bird. And some of them get almost like a pinkish, peachy hue around their beaks. When you see them up close, they can be quite colorful. So they're a neat bird, in my opinion. So this here's a hermit thrush, and they're the first of the thrushes to return, and also the easiest to tell apart from the other thrushes. You can see they've got that rusty reddish tail, and they generally will flick it up and down, bob it up and down when they're sitting still like that. So here's half of what looks like a robin's egg. I've already seen a few robins on nests this year, going back probably about a month or so. So they're definitely nesting already. So my approach today is basically the same as last time, and my same approach whenever I'm out birding. You know, people ask me all the time how I find birds, and really how I do it, especially early in the season like this, is I really use the wind to my advantage. So light north wind, I mentioned this in my last video, it's pushing the insects across the field, across the meadow, onto this side. So I'm on the leeward side, and I'm just working along the tree line and the rows of shrubs. That's where all the insects are. You might even be able to see them buzzing around my head. And consequently, that's where the birds are. So I don't want to sound like a broken record or I'm beating a dead horse, but I do get asked that all the time, and that's, you know, the same answer. I use the wind to my advantage. It works for me, and if it's not broke, I'm not fixing it, and that's what I'm going to stick with. Song sparrow. Female red-winged blackbird here. And a male calling off to the left. As I work along this row of trees and shrubs, something else to keep in mind is use your ears when trying to locate birds. And it doesn't matter whether you know how to identify birds by ear or not. As long as you know what you hear is a bird, that's all you need. You know, a lot of these little kinglets that I'm seeing and photographing, they're only about 3.5 inches long, so not much bigger than a hummingbird. And so to find them back in these trees and shrubs is really hard. You got to watch for the movement, but also use your ears. If you hear the little chatters and calls and whistles, that'll alert you to their presence, and then it's just a matter of looking through and finding the movement, and that'll really help you find them. Got another flicker here. I actually had 3 just fly across in front of me, so. Oh, there's the other guy. And the third. Thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you know somebody who you think might like it, I'd appreciate it if you share it with them. Until next time, good birding.